name is Parag Jaising. I'm your city engineer. I think I've been here. Some of you are familiar to me. Commissioner Dennehy sends his warmest wishes to all of you. So on behalf of the administration, it is my pleasure to give you a very brief overview about the North Washington Street Bridge. A very quick PowerPoint presentation to be followed by a small video. There are some, keep that somewhere. So I have two staff members that are helping with me, Nicole, Joe Fleury, and Mr. Lady of my team. So do I have your... Oh, good Lord. Are we taking?
We're here now. Okay.
Thanks, Nicole. Okay, so to keep things moving, this is the bridge. So we are somewhere here, Charlestown, Sachem. If I can get the next slide. Just to put things in context, this is a pretty old bridge, 1898. And the most relevant part is in 2003, we closed the center span. This bridge has 3 barrels. The middle barrel had to be closed because it is in a challenging condition. Okay. So we've been cognizant of the fact that this bridge requires attention, and we are moving forward with a proposal which has received favorable reviews from those who we had shown this to. So again, in context, sorry, Sachem, Little Bridge. This is to put things in context of height, location, harbor. We are here, here's Charlestown. Next, thank you. In case if you have forgotten, this is what the bridge looks like from a pedestrian perspective. You've got the Freedom Trail going through. Not the most pleasant experience if you have gone through there. Next. A side view of what the bridge looks like. You've got these old bridge piers dating back about 100 years plus or minus. Next. So, the design philosophy for the new bridge, here's the part where I need you to remember. It is in the shadows of the Sachem. So we need to complement the Sachem in both form and function. Form, Sachem is a very iconic bridge. We want this to be an iconic light, like Miller Light, Coke Light. Functionality, Sachem is a very interstate bridge. We would like this new bridge to be like a city street that just happens to be over the water. So this is the design philosophy. So let me amplify on what this means. Form, the Sachem has is very triangular, like a tuning fork, upside down Y, and the new bridge. So this is what the current bridge looks like. Drum roll. This is what the new bridge design is going to look. So I will show a series of slides that amplify this thought pattern. You will continue to see this inverted Y in most of the drawings. Another view, again context. Here's the Sachem, the Y is an inverted Y and a trellis thing. Another view. Now, the functionality. Sachem is a very interstate bridge. You don't find any pedestrians, cyclists. Just got cars zipping through there. Now, this bridge, there are 5 design features. First and foremost, we want the bridge to be a livable bridge. Next, a very walkable bridge. What we have, sorry, we can go back. What we have done is the middle part of the bridge, we have extended the sidewalk, so it sort of bulges out, more like my stomach a few weeks back. Okay. So it's more of a gathering space so that people can actually stop and take a moment. Separate cycle tracks or bicycle paths separated from the traffic. Tree. We will have trees on this bridge. Okay? Remember, it's a city street over water. Sustainable, want to make sure that whatever we build can stand the test of time. A series of bridge views. So this is what the new bridge will look from a cyclist viewpoint, from a motorist, from a pedestrian, seating area, so you can actually sit down and chill a bit. A nighttime pedestrian view, watershed, tremendous opportunities to put lighting to activate the watershed. More of a night elevation, so this is the new bridge, this is second. A comparison of before and after, so this is how the current bridge looks. That's for the new one. See the expanded coming. This one. Before, after. Before, after. So at this point, I have, Evan, can we show that animated video thing?
Yeah, you want to finish?
Oh, do we have any more? I think that's it, right?
Oh, okay. Yep.
So we have, there's no sound to this animation.
This is the YouTube.
No sound. Has it gone?
I saw it, yes.
Okay.
We prepped for this meeting. There was sound effects.
Okay, so hit it first. Sorry. It's for Saturday. She did with some
The YouTube one had it. It's funny. Staff
I was
so
not quite sure with the figures.
maybe they chose their own.
Again, this inverted Y or the Y shape is something which we want to carry to complement at least. Plus there are other things that triggers people's emotions as to what it looks like. So this is coming from Charlestown side. Obvious questions is how am I going to keep a tree alive on a bridge with great difficulty. But it needs to be done, there's no other way about it.
We commented already the driving sort of little erratic in the vision.
People are misbehaving, that's me driving. So, and coincidentally, folks, we hired one of the best architects around, that is, who calls Boston home. And today he happens to be with us. Gentleman very quietly sitting here, Mr. Rosales, Miguel Rosales. He lives in Beacon Hill. He's the architect who understood the city's design, not city's design, city's design philosophy, and after many iterations. So we've shown this design to all those that need to see. Who are they? The people at Mass Department of Transportation, they are the ones who are going to participate with us on the design and construction and pay for it. So this baby is going to cost anywhere from $80 to $100 million. Not cheap, not cheap. But all those monies have been programmed, or they have accepted this as a design. We've shown it to Charlestown folks. They are eager to see this thing happen. And all those fancy stuff we will look towards the private sector to help us to keep it palatable. So it's going to be a crappy meeting if I do all the yakking. So please, if you have any questions, it will be my utmost pleasure.
We'll start with the council and then we'll open it up to the audience. I just have a question as somebody who looks at the bridge every day. How will the construction take place? Will it be?
So, did everyone hear the question? How is construction? One of the biggest challenges we have with this bridge is all the utilities that are underneath the bridge. Some of those utilities, it is difficult for us to just move it somewhere else. One thing that is going for us is the fact that the middle barrel is closed. So we are going to fix the middle barrel and then work through. At any and all times, we will have 2 lanes of traffic coming into the city, 1 lane of traffic going outside. Now, whenever I say things like we will always have, God forbid, the 2 hours or 1 moment or 2 days where we need. I mean, one needs to be practical about the fact that we are building a $100 million bridge in a watershed. Okay, so I don't want to be quoted by saying, gee, use it never. Okay. So managing utilities plus keeping that bridge open plus keeping the pedestrians and getting it done quickly. We don't want to make a career out of this. We'll be utilizing all conceivable accelerated bridge construction techniques, take advantage of the watershed. On the, what I call the land side, we have the locks, the locks coming through, so we have tidal waters. So there's many things which one needs to take into consideration. Thankfully, we have a world-class architect and an engineer who is working very closely and who are taking through all those. So hopefully my answer wasn't laboriously long, but it's not going to be easy. But we don't want to make a career out of this. We want to start construction, I think in the calendar year of 2017, and wrap it up in about 2 to 3 years. Oh, I consider good to see you.
Wrap it up when? When would you?
2020. By 2020, we should be done.
Yep, thank you.
Another question?
I kind of do. I just have a list of them actually from your, so I'll just,
Fire away.
because I think they're quite basic. Just as a parent in the neighborhood, the accessibility, the playground obviously will still be accessible from down below, that large sort of kiddie park between the Charlestown locks, and
So
cutting off a playground is always a big deal in the big city.
I have tons of more slides beyond this. Some of the things which I'll give you some highlights. A lot of people have concerns about the casino and whether 4 lanes is going to be enough, so on and so forth. We have been as flexible as possible with this design so as not to handcuff us. Right now we show 4 lanes of traffic, 2 in each direction, even though at the intersections you have additional capacity. But let's assume in years to come people say, you know what, cyclists, and we want to put 2 additional lanes. It's very easy. All you do is take this architectural detail out and you can very easily add in the 3rd lane. The fundamental bridge, the guts of the bridge doesn't have to change. That's issue 1. Issue 2, today if I walk from north end, that little harbor walk that goes right underneath the bridge, how many of you have been flooded? Not flooded, I mean, you try to walk underneath that pedestrian path and because of high tide, you couldn't walk. No one has experienced?
No.
It's locked.
It's been closed for
It's
years.
locked.
You can't get there.
Yeah, so I usually have to go from the bridge.
Well, what we are doing today is the bridge, the girders are really deep and I need to have so much clearance. But the new bridge, the girders are going to be much thinner, so we are going to raise that whole walkway further up so it's not going to get flooded. So there are many other improvements that are associated with this bridge in terms of access on and off the bridge at the 2 sides. This is a once in a long time option and we can't muck it up.
I guess conceptually, like what kind of transitions will prepare, because this is on the Freedom Trail. We saw the Freedom Trail, indicated, I think it's in this slide as well.
Yeah.
And that's great about the overlook part, because I was on that bridge today and I saw 2 swans go by, and it was just a beautiful moment, just crossing the harbor like that. But the north end of Charlestown, I mean, I grew up in the north end. Charlestown for me was very different. I mean, it was all part of Boston. Can we keep a little bit of that, it looks like this transition is, a boulevard, which is something a little new for us, on both sides of the water. I don't know, just something to, the bridge was a transition. It functions as a transition, between these two, quite different communities.
So shall I put toll gates?
We can collect the revenue on both sides, but, I don't know.
I'm not sure how to incorporate your desires onto this design. There will be many opportunities within the bridge railings to have, keep in mind we've got right now pedestrians that are nervous as heck trying to go through. We want to change that climate. We want people to actually slow down, watch. There are many opportunities to put markers, flags, pieces of art, whatever along this, so it integrates the two communities so that the transition can be seamless. So when you're looking from one side to the other side, you can actually say, oh yeah. Okay, so this is just the starting point. We want to make sure that when this gets built, the little details are as proper as it can be.
Have the details been fleshed out to, like the cycle tracks? I know that Causeway Street's in the process of being redesigned. Like, will those connect into the Causeway Street ones? Or?
It is, because it has to, otherwise, because all those projects are public works projects, so I will have to shoot myself, and that would be awkward. But to answer your
question. Is the plan, because I know that there's supposed to be a cycle track coming up Causeway?
It has to flow in, because keeping in mind that the cycle tracks, we are trying to get these coming all the way down Rutherford Avenue, over this bridge to downtown, as much as you can make a right turn and go down on Causeway. So all those details has to be flushed through. Okay? Right now our focus is how do you build a $100 million bridge with other people not freaking out, still giving us the money and paying for all these goodies which I'm showing. Because after 2 years, the trees cannot fall apart, all these amenities cannot be crappy looking. So all the abutters, i.e., and you know who the abutters are, there are 3 very rich people that are living close by. Yes?
We already know the obvious uses of the bridge: automobile traffic, pedestrian traffic,
yes,
bicyclists.
Yes.
Just curious, because any public place like this, a lot of skateboarders come around. What is your opinion on that? Is that something that you thought about? Because whether people will like it, that's kind of part of the reality. People use public stairs at the library, etc.
True. So you're right. I mean, your sensitivity to the urban charm is right on target. So we want to be careful when we build any of these barrier systems. It doesn't lend itself for not your average skateboarder, but the ones who want to make statements and use this infrastructure. Because I'm concerned that should they have a mishap, they are not going to fare well. So we will design it in such a way so that it is not discouraged. There's a sort of passive-aggressive way of designing it so that if you do it, you're going to really hurt yourself. Or it is not possible for one to engage in such activities.
Yes, one more quick comment is, just while I have all the people who have been intimately connected to this project, people fish off the bridge.
Oh, yes.
People dive off the bridge into the water.
I hope not. At least not while I'm watching.
No, they go down to the piers down below, the pilings, the base, and
but
those
fishing
piers there. So this bridge has a lot of neighborhood use that goes beyond, again, the car traffic, the pedestrian traffic. And just keep that in mind, because when I see this, again, for me, it's a beautiful site. But it has to also integrate in with these very densely residential, family-oriented communities, which they still are and will remain.
Yes. So that's why when we said it needs to mimic the city street that
Or with
just
fishing.
had, as long as you will help volunteer to clean up all the dead. So, so the best way for me to respond to your very thoughtful thought, this little bulging area where people can gather. So hopefully people will use good, prudent judgment to conduct activities that are palatable and compatible with the totality of that space. Because if I cut fish and leave a mess, that would be awkward. Okay? But then the next person who wants to sit there and have their sandwich may have to enjoy the wonderful smells of fish cuts.
But that's also, I mean, that's what people want. I don't know. I feel like that's.
But
the
I shouldn't pick A or B. We'll just give a palette and hopefully it will self-regulate itself.
Anybody have any questions from the audience?
It's just, I missed when it's going to start, when the project going to start.
So right now, sir, it is,
Just a month.
I will give you the year. If I give you a month, that means I'm 6 months away.
Okay.
So since we are 2 years away, so in the year of 2000, the question on the floor is when will this project start? So right now we are how can I say, we are deep in the design, okay? So by 2016, so I mean 15, by the end of next year, we hope to finish the design. And since the state agency that approves this design, they have to approve it, and they have to build it. We got them to participate with us in crafting this design. That way they can say, oops, sorry. Okay.
That's no problem.
So in 2016, we hope to advertise it for construction. When I say we, the state on our behalf, finding $80 to $100 million is not easy, but we are confident that that type of monies are earmarked in that year. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 3 years plus or minus, it will be under construction. And it's not going to be fun. I don't want you to think it's going to be a walk in the park. No, it's not. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, during construction, will the middle lane of the bridge be open for travel or still?
It goes something like, sorry, Nicole, like 2 lanes into the city, 1 lane leaving the city, somewhere along that bridge.
But you'll use the middle for this construction?
So,
As one of the 2 lanes?
so it's staging, Nicole, because right now the middle is closed. So we may rebuild the middle first, and then because the utilities have to be adjusted, I got a juice line, very high voltage juice line, gas lines that cannot move back and forth. If we do that, it will probe the project and it will take another 10 years. Other questions? Excellent questions, by the way.
Just want to say, there is a skate park that's being built right there, so hopefully the skate people will go to the skate park instead of staying at the bridge.
But that's true, but you know very well, we have very high energy skateboarders and guests of our city and residents of our city. And hopefully we can manage that situation.
All right, any other questions?
So I have another, sorry. Do I have your blessing, please? Please. Douse, give us like blessing.
I don't know if you guys want to vote on it? I didn't know we were going to be voting.
No. Let me say why. When we took this in front of the Charlestown Neighborhood Council, because these 2 neighborhoods are the most important neighborhoods, you get to see the bridge. So it will be good for us to know that you are like, oh, nice.
Do you want to take a quick voice vote? So we want to make motions of support? We're not really prepared to vote right now.
Okay,
because we don't have
that's
ballots,
fine.
but-
So,
I think, I mean, we're obviously in favor of replacing what's there, but as the design details get worked out, I think we can all say that we're just as long as we're like privy to what's going on, I think we'll appreciate
Absolutely.
that. That's all. And then if there's a decision that needs to be made upon when you get further along in the design process, I'm sure we'd love to offer it.
yes, so the key, this is at a 60,000 foot view.
Right.
That's that little, but the details at a pedestrian level is absolutely important, including the color scheme which we are going to use on fiber optics lines that are going to. So at that point in time, if 200 people get into the decision-making process, and be at it for another 200 years. So it will be good for us to have Una or those people from your team that are engaged more closely with the with the detail level stuff. So that way I can have peace of mind thinking this very important community actively participated in the fine details.
You can have an impact advisory group or?
No, because more of
Just,
I wanted to, because things are going to move really fast.
okay,
Okay, so not an IAG, just a person or two persons. I always like two, because if one cannot, the other person can fill in, and that person can be the conduit through which they bring information back to you.
okay.
So, so that is something which I decide,
Okay.
because I'm going to assume that there's a lot of raw talent and understanding within your community that can influence at a very important way how the little details will pan out,
Okay.
including us selecting what should go on these panels.
Okay.
Is it just the Park Hill Monument, or
Okay, can we do that offline?
please, and do let us know through Ms. Leo, because you can be the conduit
Yes.
through.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for, and please let us come back as often as you want us to
Absolutely.
come back. Nicole, I'm also meeting another neighborhood.
Next month, the Residents Association will be at.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're most welcome, thank you.